listener says vaccines to get one booster and then another brand of booster. They are wondering if there are benefits to doing so, or will the effects be the same if they get the same brand for boosters as the original series?
Most of the early studies suggested that there was a benefit to mixing and matching, but I think the data is becoming more clear now that there's a slightly better immune response to the Moderna vaccine, more of the mRNA compared to the Pfizer vaccine, and that gives a higher antibody or immune response. That does come at the cost of more side effects, slightly more side effects. These differences aren't that big, so it doesn't make that much of a difference which one you get. But if you do prefer to have a stronger immune response, choose the Moderna vaccine. If you're really concerned about the side effects, the common side effects, sore arm, etc., then the Pfizer vaccine would be a better choice.
Okay, along those lines about Moderna, this listener who is 64 with a husband who's nearly 75 is having a hard time finding appointments for Moderna. Do you know anything about that and when it might be more readily available?
No, as far as I was aware, I thought most vaccines had robust availability. And if it was up to me, if the vaccine of my choice wasn't available, I would just get either one, because I don't think the differences are that big.
Okay. This listener wants to know if there are any correlations between blood type and contracting COVID.
Yes, there are correlations between that. The blood type O appears to be more protective, and other blood types appear to result in slightly higher risk of more severe disease. These differences are very small, though, so I certainly wouldn't rely on them on an individual basis, but they're interesting on a population basis, and these blood types do appear to correlate with different forms of immunity.
Okay, this listener has a question about exposure and contagiousness. Basically, they're not sure when someone's contagious. So, for example, if somebody is exposed to COVID, and we call that day 0, test negative for 3 days, and then test positive on day 4, when was that person contagious? Transmitted from people who are either pre-symptomatic or have asymptomatic infection. That's why it's important. If you want to protect yourself, it's not just good to make sure you're around people who aren't visible. If you're in a crowded situation indoors and you're around people that aren't in your usual household. All right, it looks like that was all we have time for. Dr. Dean Blumberg, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and Ask an Expert today. Dr. Blumberg is Professor and Chief of Pediatric Infectious Diseases at UC Davis Health. Interview on our website. We put all of our Ask an Expert interviews there. Just go to kcbsradio.com/askanexpert or look under the More button at our homepage. KCBS News Time, 9:36. We're just about 2 minutes away from your next traffic update.
If you own a business, this has been a to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you might be eligible to receive payroll tax refunds up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Massler, and that's why refund.com after the red tape and get you the money. Teams that attorneys you put together are highly trained with little-known payroll tax refund program. If you don't want to learn, charge your right out front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that you get to you. Businesses all tax even those that it increases in sales. We have given over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/news.
you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
KCBS News Time 9:38. We are going to head back to your local Honda dealer's traffic center, get an update on this drive from Kim Wonderland. Would be leaving Danville for Alamo. This report brought to you by Asian Box Restaurants. This is northbound 680. It's well before Stone Valley Road. Overturned vehicle. The vehicle's actually up against the center divide, but it looks like the left lanes are blocked right now with emergency response. We are backing up into Danville a little bit past Diablo Road. That is hard stop and go. The southbound side is also slow heading down toward the area adjacent the crash site, so we have a good couple miles of sluggish traffic on the southbound side of 80, although lanes are open on the southbound side. We are also looking at some South Bay slow spots. Northbound 280 a bit heavy from Highway 87 just out toward Bird. We may have a stalled vehicle here. After that, a little bit slow through the 17-880 split. Then you're on your way to the Cupertino side without any issue. Looking at the Bay Bridge Toll Plaza behind the metering lights, we're just backing up a little past West Grand, no longer into the MacArthur interchange. Couple sluggish spots as you make your way off the upper heading out toward Fremont Street. And Asian Box creates an exciting, customizable catering experience for everyone. They envision healthy, fresh food that is authentic and tastes great. Nothing is better than Asian Box. Order catering for your next event by visiting AsianBox.com. Your next update, 9:48 on the traffic leader, KCBS. Mostly sunny skies expected throughout the afternoon. Just that lingering overcast at the coast, where highs will be in the 60s. They'll be in the 70s by the bay and into the mid-80s inland. We've got traffic 1069 and AM 740 KCBS.
Hey guys, Mike Valeni for Cash the Ticket podcast. If you like sports betting or if you just like sports, it's the podcast for you. We try to cover all the big games and maybe some of the games you didn't even know were important. Give you some angles, pick some winners, have a good time, and hopefully help you meander through college and pro football season. So join us a couple times a week. Information you need to bet the games that you watch. It's Cash the Ticket on the Odyssey. You get your podcast.
Are you a business owner? The federal government earmarked $135 billion in COVID tax refunds for small and medium-sized businesses. Most of this money will never be claimed. RefundsPro.com helps business owners get through the red tape of qualifying for the employee tax credit. Your business can qualify even if you receive PPP funds, and most refunds are over $100,000. There's no downside to apply and no fees unless you receive a refund. This is free government money. There is a deadline, so visit RefundsPro.com to get started. RefundsPro.com.
What do you have for us today, Charlotte?
Charlotte is the little sister of the Tooth Fairy. Charlotte is the Junk Fairy.
If you have stuff in your shed that you haven't used in the past 12 months,
Yes?
you're not storing stuff, you got junk.
Turn your storage shed into a shed that you can use again.
Give yourself some space to maneuver.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Call junk.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
KCBS News Time 9:41. San Francisco International food workers remain on the picket lines, and the city supervisors are set to take up the issue of their wages and benefits at a hearing this afternoon. Meanwhile, if you're traveling through SFO, don't count on grabbing food before boarding, because the airport restaurants where these striking employees work are closed. We get more from KCBS's Margie Schaefer at SFO. It's are on strike and the restaurants are dark.
No food. I just got some muffin and coffee, so obviously no food here right now, so it's a bit troublesome.
That is Upendra Chupati traveling with his wife and young daughter. Food and beverage workers are striking for higher wages and the current $17 an hour, and to preserve their current health care program. The International Terminal Food Court is shut down, which could lead for an amenity that people have come to depend on.
People with special medical needs, if they fall into this scenario, it's really gonna, affect their health.
SFO says it will provide updates on the status of airport restaurants at flysfo.com and its social media channels. Travelers are advised to pack their patients and a meal if they need one. At SFO, Margie Schaefer. Bay Area strike, this one involving healthcare workers at Sutter Health Santa Rosa Hospital. These are lab scientists, social workers, physical therapists, occupational therapists, dietitians, and pharmacists who've been working without a contract for more than a year. They want better working conditions, and their union, the International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers Local 21, says Sutter has denied their request for higher pay. Sutter Health in a statement says union officials have failed to negotiate in good faith. KCBS News Time 9:43. A golf star is pulling out of a lawsuit against the PGA. We'll get details in sports in 2 minutes.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. Qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter.com/find.
A global pandemic, social unrest, and wild market swings. Welcome to the new normal. For investors looking for financial stability, it's a challenge. But now there's Reliant Capital. Reliant can give you high returns with no market risk of any kind, 10 to 12%, and it's eligible for an IRA or 401k rollover. Call 800-788-1000 and get the kind of Warren Buffett's been earning for years. Invest in something you can rely on. Call 800-788-1000 for your free brochure.
What's an investor to do these days? With a worldwide pandemic and economically turbulent times, you wonder, where can I find a reliable investment? Answer, Reliant Capital. Reliant could give you high returns with no market risk of any kind, 10 to 12%, and it's eligible for an IRA or 401k rollover. Call 800-788-1000 and returns Warren Buffett's been earning for years. Protect what you've worked for and call 800-788-1000 for your free brochure.
Coming up on KCBS.
I'm Jeffrey Schaub in Napa. That's the sound of work crews taking down dozens of trees along Waverly Street to the opposition of residents who live here.
KCBS News Time 9:45. Let's head over to the Bay Area Chevy Dealer Sports Desk. We're getting a golf update from Ted Ramey.
Yeah, Melissa, Phil Mickelson, Taylor Gooch, Ian Poulter, and Hudson Swafford have all asked to be taken off of the federal lawsuit that accuses the PGA of illegally suspending them for playing in live golf events and using their monopoly to crush the competition. Now, Mickelson had first alluded to this possibility of removing himself about 2 weeks ago at a live event in Chicago. There are many other players like Abraham Ancer and Pat Perez that have removed themselves from the lawsuit, but guys like Bryson DeChambeau and Matt Jones do remain plaintiffs. Now, Mickelson was one of the first golfers to defect from the PGA to go to live golf. He's long accused the PGA of greedy tactics, and the golfers should be viewed as independent contractors that can play where they like. The PGA has suspended multiple former members of the PGA that went to live golf, and there has been more talk lately about the two tours needing to learn how to coexist. There has also been some discussion about how the two could merge, but that has been more speculative, sharing the golf landscape in general. Over to the NFL, it has been confirmed this morning that Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard did tear his ACL, and the Giants lost to the Cowboys on Monday Night Football last night. A non-contact play, never a good sign. He's done for the year, and it's the second straight year in which Shepard has had a season-ending injury. Last year, it was a torn Achilles. And Browns defensive end Myles Garrett was released from the hospital after being treated for injuries he suffered in a solo car accident on Monday afternoon. No bones were broken despite the fact that he flipped his Porsche off the freeway after Browns practice near Wadsworth, Ohio. A woman who was riding passenger was taken to the hospital, she too with non-life-threatening injuries. No drugs or alcohol are suspected in the crash. Both were wearing seatbelts, but the crash is still being investigated.